to be the part of this conference. Thanks for giving this opportunity first that I want to say. All right, I'll be covering different issues like uh, during my presentation today. So I'll be talking about the importance of the skills development and challenges faced during the COVID pandemic. And I'll be also talking about what are those skills and will they be in demand in post-COVID-19 world too. And I would like to present my research analysis by the end of my presentation. Well, as we all know, there has recently been an increased interest in promoting transferable skills development among students in higher education institutions and transformations in labor market demands and higher education institutions' expectations. All these factors have made this issue even more important nowadays. And there are lots of documents that also emphasize the importance of promoting skills among students and among graduates. And there is a need to adapt educational curriculum to labor market needs, as well as to facilitate dialogue between the labor market and education sectors. Well, there are lots of scholars who claim that there is a mismatch of a range of skills and in different universities and in different countries. And there are some of the skills they think that are, let's say, most problematic. These are communication skills. There is a communication skills gap, problem solving skills gap, ICT skills gap. And in this regard, European Commission report also puts forward that the pandemic has accentuated the digital skills gap that already existed. And now more than ever, the countries need to have the paradigm shift on skills and one that delivers a bold skills agenda for jobs. So according to Commission, the labor market is increasingly in need of transferable skills like working together, critical thinking, and creative problem solving. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic is accelerating the need to enhance transferable skills among students. And here is a question. So what has pandemic changed on the skills agenda? Because, okay, we as educators and universities in our countries, yeah, we are all striving to help our students to develop the skills while they are getting their education and while they are just studying at university. But the pandemic has changed something on the skills agenda, right? So what are these kind of changes? So as stated in the recent report published by European Union, COVID-19 pandemic underlined the importance of life skills and they just mentioned that there is a gap on not only in the digital skills, but also there is a gap regarding the problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, and even the communication skills. Well, the following research questions have been formulated for my research. So what is teachers' perception regarding the students' competence level in selecting transferable skills? To what extent distance learning contributed to skills development among students in the times of COVID-19 pandemic? Well, as I've already mentioned, COVID-19 has made education institutions to accelerate the process of digitalization. And there was a strong sense that universities and schools don't facilitate the process of equipping students and their learners with the most demanding skills. And they face the challenges regarding this issue. And there is like still we are facing the problem regarding the higher order thinking skills, and more than ever students are required to have these kind of skills, and we need to have a paradigm shift on skills. Well, as mentioned in the recent document publication, that was kind of as a guide for education institutions. One of the hindering factors faced during the distance learning was definitely the lack of digital skills and competences in both learners and teachers. And similar kind of point was like mentioned by one of the scholars. She also mentioned that there was a like lack of readiness, and that's why there was a kind of insufficient digital skills among teachers. Well, what are those skills that we need to boost in our learners, and how has the COVID pandemic affected the learning process? These are the main questions I'll be trying to answering now. So I've got a question actually to the audience, and if you can type it in a chat, it will be really good. Should we even be teaching critical thinking skills in our classes, and why? What do you think about that? I've got it one like a recent publication regarding the skills, like a range of the skills, because there are lots of lots of information like about the skills, and they actually we can't come up with the specific list of the skills, because different scholars, different authors, they just kind of emphasize the need for various kind of skills. But first publication like indicate that critical thinking, technical skills, flexibility, creativity, emotional intelligence, leadership skills, collaboration, complex decision-making skills. These are the skills that we need to promote and develop in our learners. And what's more, there is the publication of like by Cadov, and they also mentioned that adaptability, teamwork, creativity, these are the skills that we need to boost in our learners. Okay, this is a list of the range of the skills that I have just mentioned. How can we integrate skills into our everyday teaching? That's a really challenging issue. Yeah, we remember that when we were in the classroom, yeah, it was kind of easier to integrate skills in our teaching. But when we moved to online and like during the pandemic, these we started to face lots of challenges regarding this issue. So I've got a question to you. Actually, I really wonder how you manage to integrate skills in our in your online teaching. What kind of methods you use to integrate the skills? As for me, I can say that I tried to use different platforms. So except Zoom, I tried to explore different websites like gamified, like different gamified tools, and different educational tools that I incorporate in my teaching. And with the help of those education tools, I tried to incorporate these skills in my teaching. And I also tried to create student-centered learning environment while teaching online. Well, that's the really important question. What if we step back to allow our students to step up and engage in the messiness of learning? That's the thing that we all have to do. Well, even we are in online mode, so we have to make them to be active learners in our online, in our online teaching. Well, all of the research, as I've already mentioned, was to get a clear picture in terms of perceptions of the lecturers regarding the skills possessed by students. in case of Georgia. And I tried to investigate the impact of COVID on learning process and issues connected to the skills deficit and development in Georgian context. Like I interviewed and I sent the questionnaire, online questionnaire to different lecturers from three different universities. And I want to just talk about the results now. Well, one of the questions that was asked to them was connected to their perception regarding the skills possessed by students. According to the result here, it can be noticed that digital communication and interpersonal skills rank the first place. So they, like most of the participants, they believe that students strongly possess these skills. As for technology and digital skills, they think that like half of the participants believe that they moderately possess the like technology and the digital skills. When it comes to leadership and responsibility, well, here we got the less results, and here we see that only certain of them participants, respondents, they think that they strongly possess the skills. Creativity and innovation, well, like only 6% of them, they believe that students, they think that the students don't have it, so they don't have this skill at all. We can like see that critical thinking and problem solving skills are the most problematic areas for students. And like lecturers believe that students slightly possess these skills. Like next question that was asked to them was connected to opportunities provided to develop selected skills in the times of pandemic. And we see that yeah, as for the technology skills, like some opportunities were provided by the universities. But if we look at leadership and responsibility skills, only 30 of respondents state that slight amount of opportunities were provided in the times of pandemic. Like as for the creativity and innovation, it was not fully integrated in the courses in the times of pandemic. And emotional intelligence, well, they said that there was no opportunity connected to this skill at all. Well, there was one of the questions that I asked to them, like I asked to the lecturers. It was connected to perception regarding the necessity of the skills integration. And we see that like most of the participants, they believe that critical thinking, problem solving needs to be integrated in the courses. Technology skills too, creativity comes next, and well, emotional intelligence and digital literacy are not considered to be very necessary for students. Well, these results like of the research actually depicts that in Georgian context, the students are struggling with critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, innovation, leadership, and responsibility skills, like compared to digital and communication and technology skills. So what actually I also asked them some kind of open-ended questions, and I want to share some of the results of these questions too. So one of the participants mentioned that there was no emphasis paid on the skills development in the times of pandemic at all, because they thought that there was no time to adapt and modify existing curriculum, and teachers were under pressure to incorporate skills-based approach, and like considering the pandemic induced problems. So for example, there was a poor connection or lack of digital resources or no readiness. And because of these factors, it was really hard to modify the curriculum and create the lessons and plan the lessons that would ensure that students are developing the skills in times of pandemic. One of the participants even mentioned that every course has to develop transferable skills, and one of the main goals of a teaching should be that. I want to say that there were some also positive comments connected to this topic, and some participants also stated that students showed good skills in using diverse online resources. But still they showed that they had problems with ICT skills and critical thinking skills and problem solving skills. Well, my research had some limitations. So limitation was connected to little number of participants. Second limitation was connected that it was just conducted only at 3 different universities, and only certain number of skills were explored, and not all skills. Well, based on this research results, some conclusions and recommendations were made. So skills gap that already existed was accentuated by the COVID-19 pandemic, because students had to deal with completely new learning mode. So the development of the skills throughout this challenging period was not the main concern of higher education institutions in Georgian context. And teachers' perception regarding the impact of the COVID pandemic reveals that it has brought the necessity of the skills integration in the courses, and more focus needs to be done and given on critical thinking, problem solving, leadership, and creativity skills. Well, that was all that I wanted to say about the skills deficit in Georgian context. And I just wanted to share with you perception of different lecturers from 3 different universities regarding the challenges they faced during the pandemic in terms of integrating the skills in their teaching. Well, I want to actually read your comments here if you got any.